Welcome to the Satluj Sports Bulletin. This is Gina Vigil coming to you from the Phoenix desk, bringing you the top sports news from around the world. Here are today's sports headlines. World Cup record holder and French football legend Just Fontaine dies at 89. Formula One is pressed by UK MPs to look into human rights violations. A disciplinary hearing addressing racism begins for Yorkshire County Cricket Club. Football lost a legend. Football fans around the world are grieving the loss today of the beloved former France striker, Just Fontaine, who has died at the age of 89. The announcement came from his former club, Paris Saint-Germain, who he led to victory 50 years ago. Didier Deschamps, France coach, provided a statement honoring the Reims star, saying the death of Just Fontaine saddens me, as it will inevitably sadden all those who love football and our national team. Justo is and will remain a legend of the team. The striker who, by scoring 13 goals during a final phase of the World Cup, set a record still unequaled. The record Deschamps mentioned was for the most goals in a single World Cup. He also holds the place for joint fourth on the list of all-time men's World Cup scorers, next to Argentina's Lionel Messi. Formula One tries to race away from human rights violation ties. Formula One is defending the location of the first 2023 Grand Prix race on their calendar in Bahrain, known for their human rights abuses. F1 is being pressed by Lord Shriven, chair of the parliamentary group, to demand that Bahrain release political prisoners and death row inmates before allowing the country to host.
And there is another road that the drivers, or some drivers, seem to be taking, younger drivers, progressive drivers, who understand that they can use their platform and their sport, not just for sport's sake in itself, but for a platform for good and for change, and that they cannot ignore the human rights abuses in the country that they are driving in.
Human rights groups such as Bahrain Institute of Rights and a Democracy, or BIRD, are urging F1 to set up an independent and impartial inquiry to examine the role of their races in human rights violations. However, F1 is pushing back on the demands and reaffirms its stance in a statement saying, "We take our responsibilities very seriously and have made our position on human rights and other issues clear to all our partners." The Great Eight are showing up. The FIFA Women's 2023 World Cup will welcome 8 nations for the first time. The tournament, starting July 21st, will host 32 teams, including the 8 nations that will make their debut: Haiti, Morocco, the Philippines, Portugal, the Republic of Ireland, Vietnam, Zambia, and Panama, who secured the coveted 32nd spot on February 23rd, defeating Paraguay 1-0. The Panama team's celebration images on Twitter captured the emotion of the moment as the FIFA Women's World Cup commented, "Panama know how to celebrate."
Well, hats off to Panama. They punched the 32nd and final pass to the FIFA Women's World Cup. Delight!
All eyes will be on them leading up to the end of the tournament at Sydney Olympic Stadium in Australia on August 20th. The Yorkshire scandal drags on, and the fans are getting restless. English cricket has been embroiled in accusations of racism for over 2 years after Azim Rakif, former Yorkshire spinner, accused the club of racist actions and English cricket as being institutionally racist. The Cricket Discipline Commission, or CDC, will have its first hearing today in London and go until March 9th. The England and Wales Cricket Board, or ECB, charged 7 individuals along with Yorkshire. However, former England captain Michael Vaughan will be the only one to make an appearance. Retief accused Vaughn of saying in 2009, "Too many of you lot, we need to do something about it," to him and 3 other Asian players.
I felt isolated, humiliated at times, constant use of the word. In 2017 pre-season tour, we were in a place and Gary Balance walks over and goes, "Why are you talking to him? You know he's a or he's not a sheikh, he's got no oil." And this happened in front of teammates, it happened in front of coaching staff.
But Vaughn completely and categorically denies the allegations against him. The accusation has not come without a severe cost to Yorkshire in the game of English cricket, who may face a steep fine in addition to the millions already spent in legal fees and compensation. Coming up next, Morocco defender Achraf Hakimi faces investigation by French prosecutors for alleged rape. Stay with us. We will be right back after the break. Hello, my name is Gina.
Do you ever wonder what's behind the news? What is it that you are not being told? Going behind the news and finding the truth. Let the truth flow. Satluj Network. Let the truth flow.
Welcome back. A PSG defender may also need to defend his name. Morocco defender Achraf Hakimi is the center of a preliminary investigation opened by French prosecutors for allegations of rape. A 24-year-old woman reported to the police that Hakimi raped her at his home in Paris, but did not file charges. The allegation comes after the Paris Saint-Germain fullback, with 32 appearances this season, was awarded at the Best FIFA Football Awards ceremony, being named in FIFA Pro Men's World Team of the Year, along with fellow team members Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. The YouTube influencer Jake Paul did not disappoint, but did not secure a victory after battling it out for 8 rounds. Jake Paul was defeated by Tommy Fury by a split decision in Saudi Arabia this past weekend. The hyped-up pay-per-view match was sold as settling the question of whether or not Paul could contend with a legitimate boxer. Boxing fans and commentators alike were surprised by Paul's performance, but overall impressed with Tommy Fury's skill level, his steady left jab, which Paul could not overcome.
No, I think he was exactly the fighter that I expected him to be. I think his combinations were the thing that were a bit more impressive. But more so, again, like, it was a reflection of my own performance and me just not fighting the way I know I can.
Before we take questions from the media, can I ask what the game plan was going into the fight?
Yeah, look at just pressure, come forward, stick it on them, keep the combinations going, fake coming in, work to the body, throw my 1-2s, don't stop jabbing, sharp on the defense. We knew his jab was going to be long and fast, taking away the jab, getting him, coming in with the check hook, which started to work.
Fury, who improved his 9-0 record, was elated as he said, "Tonight I made my own legacy. I had the world on me, I had pressure on my shoulders, and I came through."
Any fight of the fighter in Jake Paul that surprised you?
No, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, he was very similar to what I watched on tape. He didn't really do a lot, but it was everything. Don't forget, I'm only 23 years old. The weight of the world on my shoulders tonight. My missus gave birth 3 weeks ago. There was a hell of a lot going on. And I'm just happy that I came out here with my team, my dad, everybody else, and we're leaving with a win, we're leaving with a belt. And it's just the best feeling in the world because over the past 2.5 years, this is all that's consumed my life. Walking out in public, you backed out of 2 fights, you're scared of Jake Paul, you're not a real fighter. Tonight I showed everybody that I ain't scared of no one, and I can cut it at the big dance.
Live Golf swings and misses a successful kickoff as it brings in less than expected viewers for its first event of the season at the El Camaleon Golf Course in Mayacoba, Mexico, this past weekend. Despite signing a TV deal with CW Network, the overnight rating was reported by the John Orund of Sports Business Journal at a 0.2 of 26 metered markets. In other words, only 0.2% of households watch the kickoff. However, not all are skeptics of the Rebel Golf League, but contend that a major network airing the tournament is par for the course, as well as an exceptional roster of champions.
Wonderful. Charles Howell III was raised in Augusta, Georgia, and he was simply masterful today. He's put together a sensational final round of 63 to decimate a field that simply could not contain him.
The first LIV Golf victory went to Charles Howell III, with his sixth start taking home a cool $4 million.
It's great, and it's big. We got the team win, right? So we were close last year, and obviously, you're feeling it on that side of things. But to all the fans, everybody that came out, it's been a great week. So thank you.
Each day, we like to conclude our broadcast with an all-star shout-out, where we highlight an exceptional player across the sports world. Our all-star shout-out goes to Ukrainian MMA athlete who has shown courage beyond the octagon to the battlefield. Yaroslav Omosov retained his welterweight title, defeating Logan Storley in Dublin at Bellator 291 with a unanimous decision of 50-45. What made this fight extraordinary was that it was upon his return from fighting in the Ukrainian army against the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
I feel ответственность.
Responsibility.
Responsibility. Yeah, and I won't feel it this time because now I relax. I relax after fight.
There was a strong...
And I happy because I think I give for my country a good day.
You had great support from your Ukrainian counterparts or compatriots.
It's first time when I have big support in the octagon. Yeah, of course, America, I fighting every time, but I have support, but not how today.
What did it mean to you to see the Ukrainian flags in the crowd in Ireland?
Many Ukrainian flag, many Ukrainian people I know. I know many people. My uncle, my friends. I see many people, big support, and it's give me big energy, very big energy.
Omosov dedicated his win to Ukraine and said, "Ukrainian people, I love you, and I want to thank you, my Ukrainian army, for defense. Thank you for helping my country. Please don't forget what's happening in Ukraine." And those were our top stories for today. Thank you for joining us. This is the Satluj Network, the news network that lets truth flow. For more information and full story coverage, go to satlujnetwork.com. And we'd love to hear your feedback at info@satlujtv.com. If you recognize a player you think is one to watch, please let us know at info@satlujtv.com, and they could be featured on the next broadcast. We will see you next time.